Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aries in mid-August 2021. What is going on, Aries? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Aries, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Take good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, all right? No announcements here in mid-August, so anything you want from me, guys, it's already in the description box below. If you want to get at me for a personal reading, you can find out how to do so by looking down there, and if you have questions, before you place an order, just email me at the same address you see listed down there, okay? All right, guys, let's get into it. Messages for Aries, please, mid-August 2021. Doesn't have to be happening for you in August 2021 or any time near this time that I've published it. You know, August 2021 is just a bookmark for me to categorize everything, or catalog everything, I should say, okay? Messages could resonate from your past or your future moment or your present moment, okay? For Aries, mid-August 2021. Okay, that kind of did a little bit of a dance. And they're kind of... okay, yikes. But we'll see. I'm just going to leave them like that for a minute. I don't know why I put them in there at that angle. Four of Swords, first card. World in reverse. Major Arcana for Capricorn. Could be dealing, don't have to be. And the Ten of Swords. Alright. So, some of you Aries, you've really been knocked for a loop here. You've really experienced something potentially traumatic. And that could be also the symbolism here and why these cards are askew or at an angle, is it could have come out of left field. You really didn't expect it to be like this, to look like this, to feel like this. You didn't expect to hear what you heard, to see what you, to have seen what you saw, something like that. So you might find yourself in need of some rest and recuperation. Four of Swords. All right, good. And they're like, you can change these. There we go. Because it was kind of giving me a little bit of a feeling looking at them like that. Okay, so, and maybe that's also how you feel, like maybe looking at something, being made aware of something kind of makes you feel off kilter or like kind of like out of sorts. Like I don't have vertigo, but I guess like that's kind of what it felt like. It's like, oh, I could like fall over looking at these cards when they were, you know, skewed like that. So anyway, now, Aries, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it feels like whatever you're feeling, whatever you've experienced, and for many of you it feels like betrayal, it feels like being stabbed in the back, feels like being left for dead, it feels like you've experienced some of the worst pain, the worst, like it feels like you've really been cut deep by a person that you loved and trusted very much, maybe still do. And the reason I don't want to be the bearer of bad news is because it feels like this is a lesson that you've had to learn more than once. So in some of your cases, you've been around the block with someone several times. They have betrayed you. They have harmed you, possibly physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually as well. They have taken your good nature and, for lack of a better word, ruined it. That's a little disempowering towards you. I would encourage you, if that's how you feel, to think of yourself differently. Try to regain some of that power, because nobody can make us feel anyway. I mean, often we are that way, and I'm no saint. I feel, I'm all, oh, you made me feel this way. I also have that too. So I'm not speaking from a place of like mastery per se, but there is a challenge here that I think you have to realize that this person, whoever it is, friend, family member, husband, wife, spouse, children, whatever, this person, because they're close to you, that you feel connected to them, you know you have a significant relationship with them, they could be a soulmate to you, something like that. And you don't have a card of soulmate here, but this world energy feels lofty. It feels very much 5D. It feels very much beyond the physical, beyond what we experience and perceive here on earth, you feel bound to this person. And that's where that's coming from. Again, world energy isn't about soulmates per se, but I'm feeling some of you perceive it that way. This person is one of your people on a spiritual level, on a soul to soul level, okay? And as such, you have this concept that this person, they'll never hurt me. Or maybe some of you have this perception that, well, because they are connected to me on a soul level, they're the only person who could hurt me. Regardless, whatever your perception is, you're meant to challenge it. There's a lesson here to be learned. Maybe there's a lesson in trusting other people. You know, maybe you're too trustworthy or too easily trusting others, right? It could be, again, some of you have been in a cycle with one particular person, or if not one person, the energy marker. You're finding your friends are similar, the people that you date are similar. That's a type, that's an energy marker that keeps coming back around because you need to learn something here. And, you know, I feel like I'm telling you things that kind of are offending you, or like you're defensive against, or you simply don't want to hear it, Four of Swords, but it has to be heard, Aries. You have to understand that you have to protect. Maybe that's going to sound wrong, as if I'm blaming the victim, because that's not my intention. But there's something here where it's like you've got swords here. Perception, wisdom, intelligence, communication, all these types of things. It's like if you've been doing the same thing with the same person over and over and over again, or you keep dating the same people over and over and over and over again, it's kind of like, when are you going to realize that the only person who can protect yourself from this harm, from this pain, from this disappointment is you? Especially if it's the same singular person. Again, not trying to blame the victim here, but like this is what they want you to know. This is what the universe wants you to know. They want you to know, Aries, you have the ability to protect yourself, to prevent this from happening. The only reason, the primary reason, especially for those where it's the same person over and over again, is because you feel indebted to this person, you feel connected to them, and that's not an excuse. That's not reason. There is no reason to experience the Ten of Swords at the hands of another person. There is no reason to be continually manipulated, continually abused. There's no reason for that. Or how should I say that? Let me rephrase that. It's not that there's no reason. It's prevented. It's preventable. Thank you. You can prevent that. And the only person who can is you, is what they're trying to tell me here. So, Aries, this is so interesting. And this could be, number one, Aries, this is totally not typical of your energy. Not saying it's impossible, okay? There are some Aries out there who put up with a lot of crap, who engage in plenty of connections, plenty of behaviors, and all the things that they shouldn't, okay? But to open it up, for some of you, this is, like I said, this could be someone that you're dealing with. So maybe, you know, some of you Aries, you might be the manipulator. You might be the person taking advantage. You might be the abuser. It's unlikely that a person like that would watch a video, any tarot video, not just mine, but it's possible. Or this is a friend of yours, a relative of yours. This is something I did mention earlier, potential relationship between parent and child. So you as a parent could be watching your adult child go through this with their partner or their friends or whatever, right? So you could be secondary or tertiary in this story. You don't have to be a primary player here, but you might be. It's not unheard of that an Aries could be insanely loyal to somebody. Interesting I use the word insanely, but whatever. All right, so I don't need to clarify anything. We're just going to get further information here regarding the situation. If it resonates with you, that's cool. If it doesn't, that's all right too. Knight of Swords in the reverse. So there could be a lack of action on your part, on someone else's part. There is possibly a fear or apprehension of taking things to a certain level or taking things to beyond a certain step. The Knight of Swords in reverse, I feel, is an overly cautious energy. It could be, for lack of a better word, a cowardly energy, an energy that is stoked in fear or rooted in fear, I should say. So that could be you, could be someone else, I'm not sure. But let's get some more information out here for Aries in this situation. What else is happening here? What else is going on? Show me more. Oh, okay. Hermit, Virgo energy. Any sign I mentioned that's not yours, you could be dealing, you don't have to be. Take it with a grain of salt. One more maybe? There we go. All right, and we'll get some advice in a little bit. And then Judgment, secondary major for Scorpio. And the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so 4, definitely concerns over a foundation, concerns over things being level, things being accessible in your life or sturdy in your life, things like that. Four of Pentacles, Hermit, and Judgment. Okay, so you know, there's like this fear of the unknown, fear of what I could have. What I have now might not be the best, might not be overly desirable. 4 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and even a little bit the World in reverse. Might be some hard lessons that I've learned along my path with this person or in this situation. It doesn't even have to, again, it doesn't have to be one person. It can be the story of your love life, could be the story of your friendships, whatever. So there's this feeling of, I know what I have, and it's not the best, but at least it's mine, and at least I understand it, or you believe you understand it. Some of you, 4 of Pentacles, you don't have enough resources, physical resources. You might not have enough for what I'm going to call in this moment mental resources. So meaning you don't have your head in the right place at this time to consider doing anything differently. Okay? That's understandable, but it's not enough to, it's not the solution. The solution is something else. The holding pattern, the more of the same, the going back around this merry-go-round another time in the same scenario, that's not a satisfactory answer. You know that. Spiritually, you know that. In your heart of hearts, you know that. Hermit energy. But to get to a better solution, again, still with the Hermit, it will call upon you, many of you, to go through the most dramatic, possibly traumatic experience of your life. You know, many people, Aries, and I could be talking to you, I could be talking to a friend, I don't know who's resonating with this, but many people are in love with the people who abuse them most. Or they, if not in love, they have love and affinity and care for the people that harm them. For example, a parent, someone that you grew up around, someone who was in charge of nurturing you and helping you develop into an adult, right? Parent, grandparent, older brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, you know, play auntie, play uncle, whatever. There are so many stories across this world, across human history, where the people that are essentially entrusted with the responsibility, the duty of raising children in an admirable way, in a safe way, in a loving way, simply do not do it. For whatever reason, to whatever capacity. Yet and still, the child grows up, becomes an adult. And even though there have been bad times, even though there's manipulation, abuse, all the things that there could be, or in your situation or other people's situations, there's still this love there. And that is something to realize, something to come to grips with. Hermit energy does not ask us to do something that's easy. Hermit energy is super reflective. It goes deep, 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 deep into the recesses, into the basement where you bury your worst wounds. You have to unearth that. You have to go explore and find that and put it into a grander perspective. Understand your triggers, understand your trauma, understand your conditioning so that you can be free from it. But what does that ask you in the meantime? Potentially to leave some people behind. Potentially, because the Ten of Swords is signaling that. And the World card, even though it's in reverse, is also signaling that. These are endings. These are chapter closings. This is the turning of a page. This is releasing yourself from some type of hurt or some cycle of abuse. Yes? So if you don't really want that, not prepared to do the work, Hermit energy, 4 of Pentacles with it, right? If you're not prepared to do that work, then you're bound to repeat it. That's it. Right? Judgment can go either way. Interpreting judgment is simple. You either do the same thing again, dig up the buried bodies, bring something back to life that should be dead and gone, or you finally put the nails in that coffin and you don't go back with your shovel and a flashlight. Okay? That's the precipice. That's the choice point that you or someone that you're dealing with is at, a crossroads. And whoever's going through this can't make this decision willy-nilly. This is not a flip of a switch. This is an actual, for lack of a better term, but actually I guess it's on point. This is a process of reprogramming. And the start of the reprogramming might start with extensive rest and reflection. Might start with pulling back, putting up boundaries, reserving certain things for yourself, not engaging in the same old thing. It's not a radical change, perhaps. Hermit is not overnight energy. It's not snap of a finger. We start work on Monday. We start, doing our self-work, our self-healing or whatever on Monday, and then by Wednesday afternoon we're done. No, this is probably weeks, months, if not years of effort that someone is going to have to get involved in. Or you're in the midst of it now. Again, this could resonate from a story that started to fall apart 2 years ago. Who knows? Aries, let's get a card of advice here, and then we're going to wrap up your reading, okay? What's the card of advice for Aries at this time? What is Aries' advice? Please show me. In the situation, the advice for Aries, please. 6 of Swords. I mean, well, really, get out of Dodge. Get out of town. Now, that might be easy for some of you, because again, this 4 of Pentacles can show an insecurity in the physical sense. So you might not have a lot of money. You might not have a lot of wiggle room in terms of your job. You might not have options as far as where you can live or whom you can, crash on somebody's couch, something like that. So this is not, again, a flip of a switch thing. But the advice, the feeling is you got to get moving. You got to start somewhere. And maybe that's also a part of how this is a cycle. Maybe someone in the situation, you, Aries, or someone else, is in a comfortable position. Meaning, if this was a family situation where your parents are not the nicest people, or there's certain things that have transpired in your past, certain liberties that they took over you in whatever way. And part of keeping that cycle open, or what aids that cycle to remain open and repeating, is that you're not fully independent from them. If they give you money, a place to live, if they somehow factor into your livelihood, they can affect your job. Maybe they take care of your kids. Maybe they pay for your schooling, whatever. If you were to disengage from them, disembark from the situation, get up and leave to a certain extent, you then would be losing some type of something that you depend on this person for, along with the abuse. So it's kind of like that. What is worse? Or how much is that material help, support, How much does that really value to you? What is the value of that? Is it worth your dignity? Is it worth your sanity? Is it worth your affection or your love, or the pain that you're subjecting yourself to? You or whoever this is has to decide that, Aries, nobody else, okay? That is your reading for mid-August. If this reading resonated with you, leave a like, share the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel, friends, okay? If you want to find me for a personal Aries, you can find out how to do so by looking in the description box below, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Take care.